Another bit of wide receiver buzz. This move hasn't happened yet, but Adam Schefter reports the Vikings have inquired about a trade for Adam Thielen, old friend Adam Thielen from the Panthers here. Matthew, with everything going on in Minnesota with their pass catchers right now, of course, Jordan Addison serving a 3-game suspension, Jalen Nailor dealing with a hand injury, as Schefter's tweet says, it feels like this is actually a pathway for Thielen to become fantasy viable at his age.
Immediately. This is a trade that makes so much sense on both sides. I hope this happens, right? We like Adam Thielen, friend of the podcast. He's been on the show. He's awesome. And he knows that system, obviously. And not that he has any sort of connection with J.J. McCarthy, but I think he would fit right in. I think he would be a nice complement to Justin Jefferson, to even Jordan Addison when he comes back here. We like Jalen Nailor a little bit, but you've got Hawkinson as well. Certainly, if Adam Thielen is a member of the Minnesota Vikings, he suddenly becomes fantasy viable. And I think it would be good for the Panthers as well, because at least from our point of view, it just makes sense from their point of view, just they need to get the young guys, right? The Panthers, Adam Thielen's been a great addition to them, but this is a young team that needs to sort of grow with Bryce Young. But they've got T-Mac, they've got Xavier Legette, Jatavian Sanders are waiting for him. And so I think this would open up more targets potentially for Xavier Legette, because we know T-Mac's going to get his this year. So I'm really hoping this trade happens, and I think that if it does, if it happens before we get back on the air Monday, if it happens over the weekend, and you're having a draft trying to figure out where you're drafting Adam Thielen, I think he's in the 10th round. I think he's a wide receiver 4 or 5 in that range with some upside, and I prefer him obviously more in PPR than I do in redraft. But he's in that, that kind of 10th, 11th round range of wide receivers. Yep. And you guys can pull up the Fantasy Life ADP and talk about other wide receivers that are in that range. I'm talking on because of the I'm talking on the computer I would normally use up. I would call up the fantasylife.com website because of our technical difficulties.
Indeed. I do think this speaks to the thinness of the room with these injuries, and the fact that I think a sneaky thing this year is that, so last season the Vikings, they had the 3rd highest pass rate over expectation. The only 2 teams that passed more relative to expectation of, down and distance were the teams that had Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. And the Vikings were 3rd with Sam Darnold and Kevin O'Connell. This offense is very friendly to passing the ball. Kirk Cousins threw the ball a ton as well in that offense. I think this team's going to run the ball a lot more this year. I think that bringing in Jordan Mason signaled that intent. I think investing a lot of resources on the interior of the offensive line. I don't think that this is going to be a team that just has J.J. McCarthy drop back 40 times. And so, if Thielen is there and Jordan Addison's out the first 3 weeks, absolutely, just because someone's going to catch passes in the offense. But I do think this offense is going to lean much more to the run this year.
Totally agree with you. That's why I was on the under for J.J. McCarthy's passing yards being at 3,600. It's not believing in McCarthy. It's understanding how they want to construct the offense and set them up for success. Matthew, you missed...
Well, also, by the way, just again, J.J. McCarthy is a rookie coming off a serious injury, and what do you do? If you can run the ball effectively, that takes pressure off of J.J. McCarthy. One last thing I'll just say before we get off of Minnesota. I think we're sort of all sleeping on Jordan Addison. I get it. He's missing 3 games, but that's baked into his price right now, and he continues to drop. And if Thielen comes over, it'll drop even more. Jordan Addison is good. Connor, I thought he had a great rookie year. I thought he looked the part. And now, so yes, okay, fine. You don't have him for the first 3 games. But by the way, the first 3 games, there are no buys. You should be able to replace him in your lineup pretty easily. And then you'll have him, you'll have the number 2 wide receiver on what we think is a pretty good offense. I think we're just all sleeping on Addison. I think people are worried too much about the suspension. It's not ideal, but you should be able to handle it in the first 3 games when there's no buys.
I think that's really fair. Addison in 15 games last year had 875 yards, and he catches touchdowns. He had 9 touchdowns. So you're looking at a 1,000-yard receiver across a full season. You look at the ADP right now, I mean, he's in the conversation behind Rome Odunze and Jerry Jeudy, and slightly in front of Chris Godwin, Deebo Samuel, Jacoby Myers. So if you could just survive those 3 games, you're getting much better value at cost with Jordan Addison.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully, respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.